All right, everybody. Today we are going to discuss 15 reasons why hiking the Appalachian Trail is the most amazing thing in the world. The first reason is that nature is amazing. It's so, everybody talks about nature, but on a thru hike, you get to be engulfed in it 24/7 for months at a time. Whatever kind of comes at you, whether it's rain, sunshine, any of that, it's just so nice to be engulfed fully in the nature and wilderness, and it feels so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really amplifies those things as well. Like if it's raining for 5 straight days and then you get 1 day of sun, it's the best thing you've ever seen in your whole life.
Absolutely.
Okay. Number 2 is walking is a great place to think things over. So on a thru hike, you are going to spend the majority of your time walking, probably by yourself, sometimes with other people, but you are really alone with your thoughts and kind of isolated with your thoughts. And that can be really scary, but also really cool. And it's a really great place to kind of just center yourself, do some internal reflection if you need to, internalize some things that you've been putting off. It's really hard to avoid thoughts when it's literally all you have.
Yeah. And you make a good point. That can be a little scary because you're for sure, if you think you can run away from all your problems or things in your head, that's not true. Those will definitely pop right back up. But the cool part is you just have a really long time to think about it. I find you can kind of go through and just think through everything and come to good conclusions a lot of time too. I mean, I know that doesn't happen for everybody, but it's pretty cool. And then also when you meet other people, sometimes you'll be able to hike with them for a long period of time. It's really fun. You can kind of talk about everything.
Yeah, I feel I heard the only original thoughts I've ever heard in my life from people on trail. Your mind goes to weird places, but in a cool way.
Yeah, and you can learn so much about everybody. It's really an interesting thing.
Yeah.
So another cool thing is you become the fittest you've ever been in your life, particularly in the Appalachian Trail. That trail just loves to it goes up on the ridge and it just doesn't want to climb one peak on the ridge and then kind of skirt across the rest. You'll climb every single little peak. Some people get frustrated by this. I think it's awesome. It's kind of a mindset thing. I guess some people, the pointless ups and downs. You could argue that pointless ups and downs is really a synonymous term with hiking, though. But you could drive or ride a bicycle or take a plane if you really are trying to get from Maine to Georgia efficiently or Georgia to Maine. But you just end up being the fittest you've ever been. Absolutely incredible. Did you find that as well?
Yeah, for sure. My legs were so strong. And yeah, I felt just incredibly healthy. You can do anything. You can walk for 40 miles and it's kind of nothing, it's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Number 4, you can eat, kind of going off of this, you can eat anything you want and not really gain any weight, which can be a curse and a blessing, I suppose, if you're trying to keep up with the caloric intake. But it's kind of also amazing. You can eat a bunch of candy, you can eat a bunch of ice cream, you can eat 4 burgers and it's not going to make a difference. It's good for you in a sense because you're getting that calorie intake in.
Yeah, you can go into town, just eat a full pizza. I mean, God, I would eat a full pizza, then eat half gallon of ice cream, and then you pace it out. Sometimes your stomach hurts. Sometimes it's not the best digestive thing, but I've lost weight on every through hike, particularly the Appalachian Trail, because it does go up and down so many peaks. You burn insane calories.
Definitely not the most important thing, but it is kind of a fun benefit. It's cool.
However, small note, this tends to be for men. For some women, they lose weight, but not all.
Yeah.
I don't know. Women I've noticed tend to be more mindful a little bit.
Yeah, or I think women are gaining a lot of muscle also, and then so it kind of evens out body fat muscle percentage.
But you're pretty much going to look amazing. Although, guys, it does end up fittest in your life is kind of maybe an exaggeration because you get a lot of that T-Rex body for guys. They can look a little quite thin, but and really thin arms, but massive legs. So a little bit of a asterisk on that. Whole life is a little bit played out. Everybody kind of has this thing where you go to high school, maybe you go to college, maybe you don't, but most of the time you get a job, maybe you have have some kids, or I guess that path has changed a little bit, a lot more single people, but I don't know, so many people I know kind of live a job they don't really like, and you work for the weekends and you're a little bit of vacation, but why? Are you really have a job that's that insane and that pays you that well? Maybe give something else a chance, maybe long distance hiking isn't exactly that but for a lot of people probably watching this video, it probably is.
Yeah.
I don't know, be different, you know?
Yeah, it's a cool way to change your perspective up a little bit and try something new. And yeah, it's different than just working a 9 to 5 and going home and watching TV every day. It's really rewarding in different ways. Not that that can't be rewarding too, but like
Right.
very different
Right.
ways to feel success, if that makes sense.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Number
6
something.
would be the people. So I think we have another one later on. We're gonna touch a little bit on people, but yeah, like generally the people that you meet on trail are gonna be very like-minded. They're gonna be like have crazy backstories or lots of like interesting things to share, because it takes a certain level of like weirdness or insanity or something to like want to spend 5 months hiking in the woods. So I don't know, I think the people that I met on trail, I mean, I can only speak for myself, but are now some of my like really good friends and people that I have kept in contact with over social media. But like just in the moment hiking the trail also, like I feel like they really make the experience, because you can totally do the trail solo and not talk to anyone if you wanted to, but it's like not nearly as fun as if you talk to people and meet people and hang out with people in town, hiking, at camp, like whatever. It makes it infinitely more fun to like and it also like amplifies that just in a more general life sense, like how important community is and how important like socializing is for the human species, not to get philosophical, but like it is like such an important part of our life. And when it's like kind of all you have out there, like sometimes there's not service, sometimes it's like pouring rain, whatever, and all you have is like one other person to talk to. It's really cool to like make those connections.
Agreed. One other comment I have is that it's kind of like, I feel like in normal life a lot of times people talk about things they're gonna do, you know, like you go out to a bar and like somebody, you know, people give all these attention to someone who's like talking about like cool stuff they're gonna do, but like I'm always like, are you really gonna do that? You know, it sounds good, but on the trail, you know, like regardless if you like complete it or anything, it's all people that have like taken the leap and are actually doing the huge goal like that they set out to do, which I think is really cool, like to be able to like have that goal and be surrounded by like-minded people that are willing to take that chance. Like that's really cool, I think, for people.
A real bonding like experience for people, because like you've committed your time and money and energy into doing this. So
absolutely,
you can relate to on that level at least. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Number 7.
The next one is beautiful views. So sometimes on the Appalachian Trail, people give a little bit of criticism for you walking through a green tunnel. But, you know, I'd encourage you just not to get into that mindset. You know, it's easy to focus on the negative and be like, you know, you can criticize anything and everything about everyone and literally everything all the time. That's like what we do a lot of the time and what we find humorous on like social media or in life, kind of in a sad way though. But also like there's so much beauty, like there's like beautiful views, like you're just walking through the wilderness. There's also such beautiful trees, like as the seasons change, the different like flora and fauna you see changes, and it's really, really pretty. Like, so definitely a good reason to hike the trail.
Yeah, I feel like maybe you already mentioned this, but like it does amplify the beauty of small things as well. Like, I don't know, one time I saw a porcupine climbing a tree and I stood there and watched it for like 20 minutes because like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. This is awesome. It's not like that crazy, but like it is really cool. And when you live in the woods, it's like you feel maybe a little bit more in tune with nature or something. But yeah, I don't know, it makes it more special. Or like seeing like a specific wildflower, like I don't know, I feel like in the South I saw a lot of lady slippers and like also those little purple flowers. I don't know what they're called, like bluets or something like that. But like, I don't know, those like were such a comfort and just like something a little bit different that you see in the landscape that's really beautiful. So even on the AT where it is maybe the like viewpoint views are not quite as spectacular or grandiose or something, like there's still beauty to be found.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Number 8 or something. Sleep schedule. So your sleep schedule is very much more in tune with like the natural rhythms of the day. So you kind of wake up when the sun comes up, you go to sleep when the sun goes down, which I found really refreshing and quite like I felt like much more well rested because of that. And obviously you're doing like it's a physical endurance thing that you're doing. So you're going to be tired a lot, and it's also mentally draining as well, like just as much mental as physical, I'd say, doing a through hike. So like getting sleep is important, and getting proper sleep is more important. But yeah, you get to just go to sleep when the sun goes down, and that's pretty cool. Like you have a great excuse to just go to bed and
Right.
then you wake up early and get to experience like all hours of the day, which maybe if you work a specific job or only, get up at a certain time every day, it's like
Yeah.
you don't get to experience that as much.
The way I look at it is like, it's sort of, I mean, all throughout history, like human history, like we didn't really have like horses or cars or computers, like whereas now so many of us like, take your car to the job where you stare at the computer most of the day, so you don't really burn too many calories. I know you probably, like, you firefighters out there, thank you, you're probably crushing it in the wild land or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But like the hiking is so nice because you exhaust yourself so much, you like literally can't stay up, like a lot of times I feel like in normal life, like it's like, sure, I can get so distracted, like watching a movie, staring at social media, like just hanging out, going out with friends or whatever. But like on trail, it's like you almost, like, sure, you could do some of that to a degree, but really it's like you're so exhausted, like you have to go to bed.
Your
and
body is like, go to sleep right now.
Yeah, and it's so nice. Like you make it, and it's just like pass out, and then you like, because you're like, it's dark, I mean, sometimes you can night hike, but most of the time you hike during the day. And then when you wake up like really early, the birds are chirping, like it's just so like normal and natural feeling, like which is just such a nice, refreshing like way to live for a while. Like I try to do it in my normal life, but I do find I always kind of struggle a little bit because it's hard to get in that amount of exercise like in normal life. Number 9, maybe. All right. So another reason to through hike the Appalachian Trail is it's so much fun. Like your endorphins are like on overload. Like first off, if you're through hiking, you're going from one point to another. So that means every single day is new trail. Like you're not really going backwards unless you like forgot something somewhere. Like it's really rare to like go back and forth. So you're really, like, you have new mountains, new trail, like something new every day, and then maybe there's potential for new people. You go into every town you're going to is like a new town, and it's such an adventure. It's so cool. You get like and it's just continuously like, oh, what's that going to be like? Like, so it's kind of, this one can also be like come back to haunt you a little bit after the trail ends, because a lot of people don't have a concise plan and like how to keep up that kind of endorphin overload. Like it feels so good, so it can be challenging, but on the trail it is the most magical thing I've ever experienced. Plus, if you haven't done any long distance hiking before, there's so much new things like trail magic or hitchhiking, so many cool things.
It's kind of like adult summer camp, like not in like a like crazy way, but it is like, it gives those vibes because you are like in the woods camping on a basic level, but also like you're just hanging out with like friends. You don't have a ton of responsibility. Like I don't know, we like played a lot of like cards, and like I don't know, you're writing in a journal every night, and I mean you don't have to, I guess, but like
you can do whatever you want, like the freedom. It's so fun.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, we like did this thing where we would paint like one fingernail with nail polish, and then there was like, we would like, I didn't start this, but like a girl we knew did this, and then there were like 50, 60 hikers just like around us that all had one fingernail painted. And like, when do you do that in normal life? Like
that's true.
It's just kind of like stuff to keep your mind occupied. And like,
some of you maybe that shocks your values or whatever, but you see all sorts of new, open your mind a little bit on a hike. You're going out, you're freaking living in the woods for like 5-6 months. Go a little crazy. It's okay.
Matters. Yeah,
it's all good.
Yeah.
But next up, it's nice to have a huge tangible goal. Like I feel like so many times in life, like if you're at work and like maybe you want a promotion, you do all the work, for it, you take all the steps, all the courses, all the whatever, and then the boss hires their daughter or something, it's never really guaranteed, or like, oh, this person was my friend, or like my boss had to get it. So it can be really challenging, I find, like, things like that. Or maybe you have a crush on someone and like you get rejected, or like, it can be very challenging, like to have tangible goals. But I love like through hiking because it is a tangible goal, and it's an insane one too. Like I'm gonna walk from Georgia to Maine, or Mexico to Canada, or whatever it may be. But like it is tangible. Every single step you take is a step towards your goal. Like you have every town, every campsite, every state, every like 100 miles or whatever is like everything is very tangible. And I find that rare, like a lot of times in regular life. Like, I mean, obviously you can probably create some tangible goals, but it's so real on trail. And you can look at a map and be like, oh my God, I went from there to there. And so, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, it can be really overwhelming as well, but like it is such a good mental challenge to like start at literally zero and then slowly chip away at something and like really learn along the way.
Yeah.
I think you encapsulated that really well though.
No, but good point about how it can be overwhelming at first. So don't just look at it as like, I'm going to walk 2,200 miles across the country. Like, sure, have that in some things, but really it's just, man, it's just town to town, right? Like, where is the next town?
Just day to day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Town to town. And if it's not town to town, it's campsite to campsite. Yeah. And even beyond that, it's really like water source to water source, right? You have to have water. And then beyond that, it's like just snack literally
break to snack break.
Yeah, and then step to step, like, you know, like you just take that next step or take that next break or whatever.
It's a really cool way to practice focusing on the present for sure. Like, because I feel like my first night on trail, like sitting in my tent being like, what am I doing? Like, I have so much work to do here. But then like, just like you have to kind of put that in the back of your mind and really focus on like what's going on in the moment, which is cool. Like it's a good challenge. Mentally.
Cool.
Yeah. Next up, we have just the fact that doing a thru hike or hiking long distance generally is a huge accomplishment. And I think obviously if you're completing a thru hike that's over 2,000 miles or whatever, like that's a huge goal that you've probably planned for and saved money for and spent a lot of energy completing, and that's really awesome and exciting, and it's something that you get to like hold on to for the rest of your life and share with other people and go like return back to when maybe you're struggling later in life or need inspiration. Like you literally have something that you've already done to garner inspiration from, which is really cool. But even if you don't complete a full through hike, just like making it town to town or making it halfway or a quarter of the way or doing it over multiple years, like that's such a huge accomplishment just to like stay dedicated to a goal and stay consistent. Like that's really cool.
No, I mean, I think too, like there's so many accomplishments to celebrate, whether it's like, I made it to the summit of this mountain, I made it from this town to this town. Like I did my first like 10-mile day. I did my first 15-mile day.
There's lots of little accomplishments along the way.
I was able to, it's amazing. And then it gets bigger and bigger because it's like, oh, I went through that state, or, you know what I mean? Like I made it through this, or I did some sort of like one of the challenges like people have or something like that. Or, you might look back at the end and be like, I completed the entire Appalachian Trail, which is an amazing accomplishment that you should be proud of. So there's lots of, like, not only do you have huge goals, but like there's all these, like, you complete them too. And it feels like it's so heartening. It feels so good.
Yeah. Agreed.
So next up, it's an extreme confidence and self-esteem booster. This kind of builds off the last point, but it feels so good. You get, all these kind of lead into this, right? Like if you're the fittest in your life, if you're hanging out with cool people, if you're surrounded by like-minded people, if you're accomplishing goals, like it is super confidence inspiring. Like it's crazy to see, I feel like it goes kind of in waves a little bit. Like at the beginning, everybody's like nervous. Will I find a friend? The answer is yes, you will find friends. Please just start the damn trail by yourself. You'll be fine.
It's funny because I feel like when you start, people are like, oh, are you through hiking? And everyone's like, I'm trying to, that's the goal. And then you reach like halfway or something and people are like, are you through hiking? Like, yeah, I'm through hiking. Like you just within that like few months or whatever, you've gained a lot of confidence. Yeah.
Oh no, so I think people start a little bit timid, but then they quickly learn like, oh, people are cool. And don't worry, people will be cool the whole way too, Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, it goes both ways. Some people commit so strongly to like a tramley, which is cool. But then also, I would encourage you, like, if that's not your exact flow, don't be too scared, Maybe take a few 0 days and like meet some other people. Like, there's so many cool people out there. Or do your own thing, Like, don't have these connotations of what it has to be like for you. Like, you can do whatever you want. But anyway, so then people's confidence gets up, you start getting fit, you start feeling good, you start getting faster, climbing mountains. Then at the, and everybody's like more talkative. Like it's crazy to see people like, And it's not just extroverts. I feel like extroverts and introverts, like it's like the ultimate like social experience if you're willing to have it. Because you can be so introverted, like totally alone, but then like at camp, if you want to camp with other people, you can have that 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And if you don't like, and after that, you can just go in your tent. Nobody's gonna like bother you when you go to your tent. Extremely extroverted on trail too, and meet lots of people. It's kind of up to you what you want to do. Sometimes towards the end of the trail, people kind of get ready for it to finish. You know, I've been lucky enough to do a bunch of trails, and I've learned that for the most part, like life on trail is one of my favorite existences. So I kind of, my least favorite day is the end. But it's certainly confidence inspiring. It's amazing to watch people start off timid and just become this like amazing, strong, confident, awesome version of themselves, like talkative, like whereas at first they might not have jumped in a conversation, but they'll totally call you out on like what you said wrong, or like I love that. It's just so inspiring.
Yeah. I think also just like maybe on a more general level, like you're not on your phone constantly. I feel like that's where a lot of my like lack of confidence or self-esteem lows come from. It's just like having access to social media constantly, or like just being on my phone like too much. And then I don't know, that's removed a bit on trail. And I feel like that was really good for my confidence levels. Like just not having to look at Instagram like every day was really good for me. So
cool.
I don't know, just a little ad in there. Next one. So on trail, you're faced with a lot of problems that you've probably never been faced with before, and you have to figure them out and solve them, which kind of goes along with our confidence booster one, because problem solving and being successful in solving a problem is like a huge, like great way to boost your confidence a lot of the time. But like, I don't know, on trail it's random, like weird little things, like pooping in the woods is one, or like doing a bear hang, or like hitchhiking for the first time, just things that you like are probably never gonna do in normal life ever, but are like really cool skills to know how to do. And then once you like do them a couple times, and maybe you struggle with them the first couple times, and then the more you do them, the more comfortable they are. And I don't know, I feel like that's just like a really cool sense of confidence and skill building that you get in this very like particular niche environment.
I agree. I mean, sometimes your gear breaks and there's no you gotta figure out how to fix it some way. Sometimes you maybe you've never, I mean, to be honest, I'd suggest doing some training so you know how to do this, but maybe you've never hiked a lot in the rain, and you learn no matter how careful you are, day 2 is going to be slightly colder than day 1, and day 3 is going to be slightly colder, no matter how careful you are, because your stuff just gets a little bit wetter and a little bit wetter, but you kind of learn how to protect everything, and you learn what gear works for you, how to solve that. Maybe if your foot hurts, you learn to tie your shoes a different way or get different shoes, but there's all sorts of kind of new issues you've probably never encountered before that you get to learn to solve, which is pretty cool.
Like it never really stops throughout the trail. There's always something new to figure out. Obviously it gets a lot easier with all the basic stuff in your gear. You get into a routine, but it's still there's new towns, there's new places you have to get to, there's new terrain and weather and seasons that you have to adjust to. So I feel like it's kind of a constant throughout the whole trail. You're challenging yourself in that way.
Absolutely. All right, so now getting to the last couple. This is number 14. You get to go places you really never go before. On the Appalachian Trail, it goes through all these cool small towns through Appalachia, but they're probably, most of them are places you wouldn't go. I mean, sure, there's Gatlinburg and stuff, which you can go to or skip. I think it's kind of funny and entertaining, but you do you.
It's also a little scary. It's kind of terrifying.
Yeah, but anyway, I like it because of that, the contradictory. But there's all sorts of tiny towns that are a bit off the beaten path and people would never go to, and it's really fun, and you don't have a car, so you end up spending time in these local establishments, the local restaurant or bar, the little grocery store, or or sometimes the AT in particular is so cool. There's so many specific businesses set up that cater either entirely for people on the trail, or a large part of their business is that, and it's just so much fun, and it's always something different, and for the most part vibes are super positive. I mean, I know so somebody could throw in the comments like they've had some negative experience, but for the most part it's like super positive. I find if you talk to people and express that you're doing something really challenging, like at minimum people will be like, that's kind of cool, or at maximum you have these like trail angels that like devote their lives to like helping hikers and hostel owners, and it's so cool.
I agree with all of that. And there's just like lots of like weird little opportunities along the trail anyway that I don't know, like for example, you can stay at a drive-in movie theater in New York and like watch a movie. I think it's like $5 or something, and they let you camp there, and then you can watch a movie at the drive-in theater.
Yeah,
like for free. I don't know, or not free,
amazing.
but like cheap. And yeah, like I think we hitchhiked there. Like people are like, most of these communities are really aware of the trail, and people were like totally down to drive us to the movie theater for free and then drive us back, whatever.
Right.
So
I remember somewhere in Vermont, there was like, everybody kind of went to the McDonald's for whatever reason, and I forget the exact town, but it was so fun because like I remember people coming in, like normal customers, and like looking at us weird, and I would really try to engage them and be like, oh yeah, we're through hikers, because they look at you like, what are you doing? We're all like charging our phones and like eating a disgusting amount of food or whatever. But I don't know, I always try to engage with people, and it's so fun. You meet so many cool people. And a personal philosophy that I have, I mean, obviously it depends on your goal. If you're going for like fastest known time or something, here's a secret: most of you probably aren't, so you could probably chill out a little bit. But no, but like I look at it like, if it's a cool opportunity and there's nothing like that seems unsafe or like dangerous, which is like most of them that are offered, like I try to say yes. It's really fun. You can really meet some really nice people, experience some new things. Most people I think are good in the world, like, and they're not trying to like pull one on you or something like that, but like I really try to say yes and just like experience all sorts of like cool, amazing things, like be open-minded.
When else are you ever gonna be there? So like take advantage of the weird, fun opportunities. Totally. That was a big one for us, was like, if we wanted to do something that wasn't hiking, we would just be like, when else are we going to be in XYZ city, going to the brewery here, or whatever, like it's just, it's a good mentality.
Yeah. All of these things too, as far as this, one thing I'd really recommend is saving up more money than you think, which is obviously easier said than done. But man, you want to be able to say yes to these things. You don't want to be like, man, things do cost money. Yes, trail angels help you out, but they rarely pick you up in like a Ferrari or something. These people are struggling too. You can throw them a few bucks for gas or whatever. Anyway, random rant over. But save up money also because you want to do these fun things, and at the end, sometimes, like a lot of times people think like, oh man, I'm gonna figure everything out in the trail, but most people seem to end up a little bit more confused at the end. So like having a little nest egg to like kind of ease into that confusion or that next phase, it might be really important. Anyway, just a random tip. All right, so one more, number 15 on the list
is kind of similar to the last one, is you will meet so many people that you wouldn't have met otherwise. So similar to going to places you never would have gone otherwise necessarily. Like you're meeting lots and lots of people that you like probably never would meet any other way. Like it would be very rare. And that's so cool. Like I think of just like my own family personally, like there are 5 of us total, and like when else would I have ever met those people? Because we all live in different states. We all have have no mutual connections in any other way. And like now there's some of my like really good friends, like I'm going to someone's wedding this month who I was in my tramway on trail. Like I don't know, it's just like so cool that all these people from very different places have had a similar idea, and then just happened to meet, like the circumstances lined up where you happen to meet these people, and then like it works, and then you spend like so much time with them and are doing something very challenging, which is a really like huge bonding experience. And
agreed.
Yeah, like it's just like one of those cool things in life. I don't know. I think it's really fun to think about. Like, how like you probably never would have met this person otherwise.
Yeah, I also think like so we talked a little bit about people and how you meet so many cool people and like-minded people. This one's more about like the relationships. And number one, it's really cool. There's like these odd pairings. Like sometimes you'll see like this, like, a gentleman is like late 60s, like hiking with a woman who's in her early 20s or something. And it's not anything weird or anything. It just like works out. Or like you'll see like people who maybe had some political beliefs that are like ultra conservative, but they're hanging out with like someone who has, you know what I mean? Like someone who's gay or something, and they totally get along awesome. And it's like fantastic and it's not weird. Like it's a real cool like clash. It's also really interesting, like like sometimes you'll meet people and like you'll talk to them and you seem to be the same pace and you'll think like, oh, I'll probably see this person like 100 times, but you like literally meet them and never see them again.
Or you see them like 3 months later.
Yeah.
Like once, like they'll randomly show up or something.
Yeah.
And that's always cool.
It's so fun. And you can create like, you know, and it varies. Obviously, you know, guard yourself too. You know, there are some weirdos out there or whatever, but, for the most part, people are really cool, and like you can really form like cool bonds with people, like you were saying, like you would never really ever meet otherwise. They live somewhere different. I think it's cool too. Like hikers all have like a uniform. You know, you all end up wearing like some version of like this. You know what I mean? Or like a sun hoodie and like shorts. So but I think that acts as like a tool to kind of break down barriers, because sometimes in regular life, whether we like to admit or acknowledge how open or closed-minded we are, like sometimes we do hang out with people with similar beliefs and like similar dress and similar like, but it's kind of cool. It like makes people blend together like a lot more.
It's an equalizer.
And maybe there's some people that like you're like, oh, I don't know if I would hike with them, but then they do end up being like the exact same pace and you see them all the time, and it can be kind of cool. You can kind of like overcome like barriers in a lot of ways and like create these crazy bonds like in so many different ways like that you wouldn't normally like be able to.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And I mean, I feel like you covered that. I don't need to add more to it.
Oh, you said a bunch at first.
I did, yeah. Okay, we're good.
All right. So those are 15 reasons why you should definitely go hike the Appalachian Trail. It's also called the Appalachian Trail. It's only called the Appalachian Trail. Oh, okay. In Harper's Ferry, they have a sign that says north of here it's called Appalachian, south of here it's called Appalachian. So maybe it's something like that.
I'm from North Carolina, so Appalachian.
Okay.
I'm from Appalachia.
Okay.
So it's Appalachian.
Well, it must be nice to be from Appalachia. All right. Anyway, these are 15 reasons. If you do have any questions, comments, like please ask away. I hope this encourages you to go hike the Appalachian Trail.
You should hike the Appalachian Trail.